Bro, childbirthing is an electric experience. I'm not a tire scientist, and it's like a circle. Give me 4 tires and a bulldozer. What happened was
he said you're dumb.
Metaphorical middle finger to the pack.
Doink.
Ooh, numero uno is always best. Hey, welcome everybody to Stag and Penny's Sonoma edition. This might be the biggest episode yet. We've got back-to-back Xfinity winner, friend of the show, SVG, joining us, but also solid runs for both of us here in studio. Lot to break down, a lot of wrecks, a lot of action on track. Let's just get down to it. Let's start Stag and Pennies. Let's go.
Stacking them deep, selling them cheap.
It tastes like gasoline, rubber, and victory.
We're just out here stacking pennies.
Well, welcome back, guys. Corey LaJoie here, alongside Ryan Flores. Sonoma edition. I'm excited about this one. It was a big week.
It was a good week for you.
It was a very good week.
Anything else big happen?
Well, I felt like, an elephant was off my back after a solid run because I reminded myself that I could drive. But Tuesday night, 11:26, Pierce Jackson came into the world.
Yeah, you were worried about that.
It would have sucked to have to get on the plane and not know. They had Sammy Smith with an insert. He was going to be the stand-in guy to practice and qualify, depending on what it was. And it's always nerve-wracking. You certainly don't want to miss the birth of your kid. Certainly don't want to watch somebody else drive your car. And it's a lose-lose situation. But luckily, the good Lord had him come on Tuesday night.
How much easier is it on the third time around?
I'm never gonna find out. It's the exact same for me. It looks like it sucks real bad for Kelly. It looks like it's not a good time. So she is the honorary mention for Dog of the Week, or top of the show. Bro, childbirthing is an electric experience.
Crazy.
So man, it was so cool to spend that time with her and with him, and bring the kids to the hospital and to watch them meet them for the first time. It was definitely super cute, and they're the best with them, dude. They're holding them and so attentive to them. So it's definitely turned a page and a chapter in our life this week. I am not looking forward to the next 6 to 8 months though, dude. I get home at 2:45 last night, 2:50. I roll into the house. Kelly's up feeding them, and that little sucker's just crying and crying, and I'm like, oh my goodness.
You guys got back that early, huh?
Yeah.
You got home at
We landed at like 2:20.
Did you guys have to stop?
We stopped in Colorado, and then they just put the hammer down, put her in the Gulfstream, buddy.
Oh boy, well that's good. We got home at like 3:30. But
you
guys see, that's a big point of contention because you guys fly out of Napa, and we drive all the way to Oakland. That's the toughest. From the racetrack to the airport trip of the year.
It's a grind.
It's brutal.
Yeah. But it's always easier flight back when you're pumped up after a solid day. So that was our week in LaJoie family. Big changes. So that'll definitely change the game for us on just cadence and sleep and all the things. But then you have to go. I felt bad because, she was hoping to get discharged on Thursday morning. The flight left at 1 p.m. on Thursday. So I went to the hospital with kids on Thursday morning, planning on taking them all back and getting them settled into the house. They had to do some blood work on her, so we weren't able to leave. Well, she wasn't able to leave. I was like, honey, I gotta go. So that was not easy. That sucked, but she took it like a champ. We had some friends help out and bring her home and get her settled in, and her mom's here, so made it a little bit less crappy to have to leave.
Yeah.
And I'll catch up on some sleep and then get to work. So
then you get to Sonoma and practice back this week.
Yeah, it's been a minute since we had 50 minutes worth of practice.
How much did that help you out?
I'm always pretty confident going to Sonoma. We've ran well there. I generally don't like practice because it lets the bigger teams advance quicker with more points of data. But I think that we did a good job as a team, collaborating after practice, comparing all the different setups and kind of going one direction. And I think all the cars were better.
Now, do you not think not having practice helps the bigger teams because their simulation's so much stronger?
Yeah, you can make a case.
Because, you don't know if your car's good or not. And even if it's not good, you can't change it.
Right.
We're like,
I do like the fact that you can change springs and you can change pretty much whatever after practice.
Yeah. Do you think that they can incorporate that now?
I do think that there's a better. I don't know. I don't have a different answer yet, but I think that there's a better system than what we have for P&Q currently.
Like but even if you had P&Q and you were able to do some stuff and roll back through tech on Monday or on Sunday, would that be better, or is that open a can of worms?
I have no idea.
Yeah,
I don't know the process
of
officials being in the garage and all that sort of stuff. But I would like to get the opportunity to work on your car to more of a degree than what we're stuck at currently. Because you just unload with the 4 springs you have, and you only can change heights, and you can change wedge, and you can change your front and rear bars.
Yeah, you can't even do spring rubbers or anything.
Nothing.
You're just locked in.
Yeah, and you're married to what you have, and hopefully your sim was close. And if it's not, then you're kind of like, oh boy, this is going to be a long weekend. We got to figure out how to make the most of it. So with that being said, I would like to see more 50-minute sessions with the opportunity to change some stuff, try some stuff. It was interesting. Just it's been so long that you were practicing in and out of garage stalls, like pulling off, driving through fans. Like I was like, oh man, I kind of missed this. People were taking pictures and you're trying to dodge them. Like,
what were your initial thoughts on the repave?
A ton more grip, as we all expected. It was about 4 seconds faster than what the pace was last year. It drove relatively similar, just you can carry, 8 to 10 more miles an hour in every corner. Or like Larry Mack says, he had 13 more seconds of wide open throttle around a lap.
Yeah. It looked like the tire was really good because everybody was still sliding, and then like fast forward late in the race, like we put tires on later, and I think we might even had one blister, and we come back through and just mowing guys down with a little bit we had a bit older tire. So I think everybody went in there thinking that tire fall off wasn't going to be a big deal, and it was just going to be a fuel mileage race, and then the way that the race played out early with all those cautions, it changed the game.
It did. I think a lot of guys the field was going to be split for a 2-stop, which guys were going to go through the first stage, stop at like 35, stop at the stage break, and then split the third stage. But those couple quick yellows changed the strategy, and then it was just complete chaos.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really cool. We had track position. We started well. We gained a couple spots on restarts. We drove up to 9th and got stage points just the old-fashioned way. Nobody really peeled off.
Dude, restarts were exciting, and you had to make hay on restarts.
You had to just fill the gaps. But before we get to the end of stage, let's just go ahead and go on down the list, because I didn't get to watch the race besides out of my windshield. And there seems like there was a lot of stuff to cover. One of which is the 11 car absolutely losing parts out of his motor and was not good. That's a big blow up.
It's very it's not very common to see a car blow up that early.
Yeah, generally that would say something was overlooked.
Well, something happened, or was there an over rev?
I went back on SMT and looked just to be clear.
What about in practice? If you get an over rev in practice, it carries over.
That's true.
But parts go bad too. It's just metal. Metal and oil.
There was not an over rev in the first 2 laps of the race from the 11.
Yeah, because even watching this, it just boom.
Rod disconnected.
Yeah.
Fun meters pegged. Short day out of the 11.
Big news. He goes from the points lead to second. Him and Larson are in a pretty tight battle for the regular season championship. So these summer stretch races, man, this is what you can't have happen, is these DNFs like that. We went on a 3-race streak of finishing outside the top 25, and we plummeted. And it happens quick with stage points and finishes. It racks up. So hopefully this doesn't snowball for the 11 car.
So now, after that, there was 2 quick yellows, boom, boom. There becomes now some guys that might have been on a 2-stopper can stop and make it to the end of the second stage on their mileage. So it's almost like a split bag at this point in time. Half guys come in. So now you have some guys, like I think Joey elected to come down and give up track position, and then he gets caught up in a couple different wrecks, as we'll see here with the 14 and the 47. Run the tape. What's this, 8? The old Tylenol Chevy sliding off into the weeds. The 14 was missing a bumper. They got that thing fixed back up. It had some decent pace afterward, actually. I don't know if it broke something because I think he DNF'd.
The tough one here is the 21. Oof.
Dang it.
Yeah. That's...
The 14 just lost it, got in there. Once you get in there,
the 2-car got into him. I think that he ran the 2-car off the track and the 2-car shipped him.
Yeah, you'll have that sometimes. That's what the repave gives you opportunity to do. Because when you got shipped prior to, the outside lane was either had marbles or just absolutely no grip, and you're sliding around. Oh, dang! Joseph almost had her cleared, and then he didn't. But the repave gives you more grip. This is obvious across the entire track. Like, you were driving the thing, dude. I mean, you were.
Well, we talked about that last week, right? Because now, before, you couldn't drive the car very hard.
No, because you had to settle
for 3
into
laps,
a pace.
and then you were hanging on.
Yeah, Sonoma was a place where you can settle into a pace. You just try to run the same lap time and just give up like a half a tenth every lap. Where now it's legitimately qualifiers.
I'd say you guys were half a second. You were giving up every lap there, not even half a tenth.
Yeah,
like you were giving up a lot of time. I'd say you would run that race at 80%.
Yeah, you'd run restarts at 95, 100%, and then you'd settle into 80%.
And now restarts are at 110%.
Your
if not more.
Your entire run's 110% because now it's almost like intermediate racing where if there's a piece of asphalt, somebody's going to take it and fill it.
And the tire fell off, which was my point 4. So it's like everything we wanted.
It was good.
It
seemed
awesome.
It
wasn't nearly as hot as everybody said it was going to be.
No, it was nice.
It was really
like
nice.
You couldn't have drawn up any better weather, actually.
Cold in the shade, hot in the sun.
Yeah, so if you stood half and half, you're dialed in.
That's it.
Just right. I smoked the 38 racing hard here into 11. No, it wasn't this one.
That's the one. Okay, so that was fun to watch everybody fill into 11. You could roll the top, and if you could get there, then you could have the advantage.
And then you can still race
short
through
here. Well, and there was good grip. Right here in the 2 too, where everybody could kind of roll the top because the drive was better on the outside. You kind of pinch that guy down, he'd have to drive off the curb, and then it just made it really racy. Yeah, more so than it's ever been.
It was a blast. It's also a blast when your car drives good and you can, make some hay.
Yeah, but this is a place where a driver makes up a good bit. So you've been pretty down the dome, so it had to be.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I can do this.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's funny how quick that it's you lose it quick and it's hard to build it back up, but it runs like that. It's like chicken and the egg. A fast race car makes a confident driver, and a confident driver makes a race car go fast, and it's like a circle.
Yep.
So I think we might have started the circle of the snowball of momentum going the right direction with the 7 team, and it was good solid day for us. But it did get a little bit tricky because I got turned around.
You got spun out?
I did.
By who?
I don't know. I think it was a 34. But we're going to get to it. We're not there yet. So we come down. So we get stage points, and then we were going to essentially be back on that 2-stop strategy.
So you got stage points in the first stage, and then you don't pit at the first stage.
No.
Then then all those cautions come out, which is like 42 is the window, and then every time a caution comes out, it's like boo, boo, boo. Oh, we might be able to.
But I felt my left rear, it felt like it had a flat spot in it, and I was like, I didn't flat spot my left rear tire anywhere. I'm like, maybe because there was some delamination and blisters in the Xfinity race, and I'm like, maybe I wonder if anybody's having that issue today. And luckily, we decided to come down. A couple other guys came down at the same time, and we found out that thing was coming apart.
The left rear was.
Yeah.
Yeah, so here's your pit stop. Now, your pit stops here are quite a bit different. Pit road is tight here. The pit stalls, like themselves.
They are small for as wide as pit road is.
But the good news is everybody gets
Let's see what waiting on fuel to make sure we're getting full.
Good call. We had a D-lamp. We'll be fine here. Safety sorted a little bit.
So then it gets a little crazy. We're mired back in traffic.
So that the delamination issue is just the tires just start coming apart. Not because of wear, they just start.
So
I don't know if it's heat cycles or what.
I'm not a tire scientist. This is my understanding of it. The cords and the carcass of it, then when they lay the tread, it's separate. And they glue it or attach it with some
laminate
magic.
it together.
And they laminate it together with like a tire laminator, and then it just wears out.
And then it delaminates.
Yes, and then the lamination comes up, and then it comes in often little patches, and it doesn't drive as good.
Yep. And then your tire comes apart and blows, and then you're done.
Then your day's done.
Yeah, so that's a good call because I think that was kind of a factor for everybody, and we didn't really see it come up until the last run of the day when it went so long green. Like, we didn't see everybody's tires start kind of coming apart. And that's when you realized how much tires were worth, because some of those guys pitted right at the window,
right?
And then they were hanging on at the end of the race.
Yeah.
So like the unknowns is what made this race so much better.
Dude, it was great. There was a lot of great memes off of this instance too, where the Ford tries to block the 42 and the 42 is not having it, and then he just happens to bowl about. Well, he definitely bowled a strike because he took out about 10 of them.
Oh, dude, that's so bad.
Yeah, Josh Berry was a passenger there, just trying to get the thing stopped with zero chance of getting it stopped. So 23's off. He's off in the weeds.
Yeah, that was.
Ford tries to do a late block.
I put that on the 4, 1,000%.
Well, there's certain guys you can chop. John Hunter's.
Well, he chopped him once, and John Hunter was still stay there, and then he drove. I mean, he drove damn near another white line.
Yeah.
So I mean,
yeah. At some point, you get be like, okay, here, you can have it.
At some
you
point,
want
you
a
get
little more
shipped. Yeah. But that's.
Can we talk about the
that's-
Aussie invasion right quick?
Well, we got.
We're going to talk about him when he comes in studio here in a minute, but I think he made it look too easy because the other guys come in there. I think that Will Brown kid did a good job. The 60 was just getting absolutely used up by everybody that he was around.
It didn't rain.
What about
you guys
that?
have raced there before? I mean, it really helped. Like,
yeah.
So I don't know. The 33 was good. He got his car shut off. I don't know if he hit a power switch or what, because he was like parked in the infield and they pushed him back around and it cycled. He was a couple laps down, so he was in the mix. I think Will Brown was running a little better than the 60.
Yeah, I agree.
Something happened there. Roush tweeted the Stage 60 Twitter account. They were like, I guess Josh Berry thought we were at the Gold Bowling at the Glen. Took us out. It's like, damn, that's a pretty fire tweet.
That is fiery. But also, I love a good race team parody. Not even a parody, just a race team account, because there's not one person there that can be like, that guy sent that tweet. It's just everybody.
Yep.
Just fire it away.
Just an umbrella.
Give me that. Here's where I got turned around. It was the 34 to 10. You can't see anything right here through 7 or 8, 9. The 10 hit the tires hard.
You got spun there?
Yeah, I'm off to the right. I just grabbed a gear and kept it moving. 2 gets into the 10. 10 starts spinning out, and then check, pow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can't see anything in front of you.
No,
all you can see is greenhouse and spoiler. But Ryan even said on the radio yesterday when we raced for a lead, he's like, yo, why is everybody just driving me off the track? Like, they have to leave at least a car with a room.
Yeah.
And it looked there like
We're
nobody
gonna put
does.
4 on it. We're going to bulldoze our way to the front. 10-4.
Sparks got some RCR coming out in them there.
Yeah. Well, give me 4 tires and a bulldozer.
Yep.
About to bulldoze our way through it. But we chipped away at it. What happened was so the 34 and I got caught up in the same thing. I haven't looked back at what strategy he did, but what worked out for us in the third stage, so we were on the tail end of guys that were on old tires. We had to fight for the first couple laps to stay in front of the guys who had taken tires. But then once guys started peeling off, once they got in their window, we stayed out in the racetrack with clean air and was running times comparable to the 9 and the 12. I stayed in front of the 12 for pretty much that whole run. Feeling pretty good. And the difference of running 15-20s versus the guys who were right in front of me running 15-50s, and then when they all pitted, they came out together racing each other, running 16 flats, me making time in that clean air, when we came down to pit with fresher tires, we just leapfrogged all those guys.
Yeah.
So that worked out well, and learned some stuff following the 5. The 5 is so freaking fast around Sonoma, dude. He's so fast every week.
Cliff did such a good job kind of adjusting to what the strategy was and not waiting on fuel, because everybody waited on fuel, and then everybody that came in and waited on fuel got leapfrogged. And he was like, I'm going to take a shot in the dark here, and then it ended up, everybody thought it was going to be a fuel mileage race, and it ended up not being a fuel mileage race.
Except for the 19.
Well, they didn't wait on, they took the gamble, didn't wait on fuel, and were aggressive, and it didn't work out. But yeah, you guys had a really good run here. I was watching that because the way it all cycled, it was weird. But that was the thing that you kind of factor in, is you're like, okay, we can make time in clean air. We're running a half second faster than the guys in dirty air. So we're going to run this out as long as we can. Then we're going to, when we put you in traffic, we're going to put tires on it, and then you're going to have to get those guys back. If a caution would have come out there, I think you guys would have been boned.
For sure.
But it didn't. It just progressively, like, naturally played out, and the way that the 5 and the,
I think that was
5
the same,
and the 19 and the 17
wasn't that what y'all
racing.
did?
Yes.
Yeah.
Same exact thing.
Yeah. So I'm glad it worked out. I'm glad that we.
But we
got
waited.
a
The reason we lost track positions is we waited on fuel. Then we came back in and topped off because we were in the back.
Yeah.
And that's how the 5 car, because we were racing with the 5 and the 45. That's how the 5 leapfrogged us. Because I felt like we were just as fast as the 5. So listen, if we could predict the future, we'd be doing something different than jumping out in front of race cars for a living.
For sure. So where are we at now? So all the way to the end.
19 runs out of gas coming to the line.
So he just puts it in gear, and now he's just using the starter to chug it along. Everybody's done.
Safety trucks are coming. He's like, no, I got this. Oh, man, whoever builds those starters is going to be pissed. Yeah,
and he's waving the checkered flag. Get there, big guy.
Meanwhile, the flagger. I wonder if that's Keeter just standing up there waving the flag for him.
Meanwhile, Kyle Larson's already like drinking wine in victory lane. He's finishing up 20 minutes later. Like, yes, I got
but that's a big difference, man. That goes in the DNF category if he doesn't get there.
Oh yeah,
right. So that's a big difference.
Chug her home.
Get it there.
That's right.
A lot of talk about him retiring after the race. Did he say something about retiring? No, it was just. Everybody's like, he's got to be over it. He's going to retire after this.
I mean, this is the time where the rumors start.
Yep.
A lot of rumors flying, but I don't know. I feel like he seems happy. Like, he's generally one guy you can look at him and be like, ooh, Martin Truex not having a good time. But like, he's smiling, which is rare for him. So maybe he's liking what he's doing.
I think he looks exactly the same all the time. I can't tell if he's mad or if he's happy.
That's what I'm saying. That's why when he cracks a smile, you're like, man, this son is elated. Kyle Larson gets her done, get the waiver, pumped up, back in the playoff hunt. 3rd win this year, 19 laps led, home track there in Sonoma. Do we need any reminder that he's pretty good?
The whole team's good. Yeah, so that's a big win for them. 3 wins this year. Could have had more. Could have had less. The closest win in history.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a total team racetrack, right? Between balance,
driver,
and strategy. So they had all 3 and they outclassed the field, and it was fun to watch. It was nice that through that green flag run, the 17, the 19, and the 5 were like right there together, racing hard.
Yeah.
So I don't know, that race checked all the boxes for me. It was probably one of the best Sonoma races I remember in a long time.
Yeah. It looked like there was a lot of stuff happening.
Next gen car likes repaves, dude.
Give us grip. Give us track grip, and then we'll just smash into each other.
So
what else we got?
Yeah, I mean, that's the question of the week is, was the crazy race a result of the Sonoma repave? And yeah, absolutely. We touched on that earlier. Like you said, you're driving the car to the max potential of the tire every lap. You're not saving everything, which when you're doing that, it opens the door for, mistakes. And we saw a lot of them, and everybody had to be aggressive because it was challenging the pass. And we saw a lot of that, guys getting too aggressive, which I'm here for how aggressive you guys are right now. Like, I like it. The days of,
and it's not going the other way ever again.
It's not good.
No.
It's not good if you are kind of
like
a Mark Martin type where let them go. I'll get you back to the end of the race. It's not like that anymore because everything's so much tighter.
Yeah,
and I do think that if there's a line of like we are towing the line of it's like, it's a little too much.
But the line will keep moving.
Well, no,
I
it
think.
can only go so far
That's
before
true.
it's like a complete joke.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's where I think we're right at it.
But then what do you do then? Stewards?
I punch each other.
But
I
then
don't know. You guys have to figure it out yourself.
do we need like a designated place to punch people? Because nobody's going to punch anybody. And
I'll tell you, we're not going to do it on the back of that 8 truck.
We ain't doing
punching
that.
people there.
I ain't doing that. I ain't doing it on pit road.
I meant to wear my shirt today.
I'll
Get
catch
off
you
this truck.
I'll catch you down the road.
Yeah.
Because there's no face worth punching. It's $75,000.
Nope.
That's a lot of money.
Nope.
So I don't know. I wish that there was like if you push or shove, it's like $5,000. There's like levels, and going into it, like if I connect and there's blood, it's gonna be 50. if I graze and it's like 15. I feel like we need.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I have an uneducated opinion on that, and I don't love fighting at the racetrack, but I can promise you this: I'm not gonna fight, but I'll watch you guys fight.
Be
like, go get him.
You know what? I go.
Yeah.
Hit him, duck.
He said you're dumb.
You know what I love to watch? I think all the fans are loving to watch it as well. Is SVG adapting to the NASCAR way of life by just absolutely smashing into guys through the dirt, and then just drifting the entire track.
You can't.
There's
Listen,
nothing that
if
just is a metaphorical middle finger to the pack than just sliding your entire lap after the race.
He had a strong race, and even when he lost track position and got it back, the 97 did a good job. The 19 was right there with him. I mean, at the beginning of the race, it was like him and the 19, and then the rest of the field was like 11 seconds back. In the first stage, they got on a little bit different strategy, but the 19 had a little bit of a woe on pit road. You can't give after what the 21 did at Coda. You cannot give him an opportunity to do it again.
Yeah,
like you learn. Like, listen, Austin Hill was in the wrong there. SVG dominated the whole race. Late race restart, dive bombs the bottom, smashed everybody out of the way. Just a complete bully move.
Yeah.
So if you know that, you're like, okay, I know he's going to do that again. I can't give him the shot.
And he's already cost me one.
Doink, done.
Yeah.
So
SVG should be sitting on 3 for 3 on the road courses next year this year.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure Austin Hill's frustrated too. If you're on his truck, that's just the difference of being on two different teams, right? You're always going to want what's best for your team. So,
well, instead of just thinking about what it was, let's just talk to the man himself, because he's just walking into the Nonsense Garage at the moment. So we're going to set the studio up. Y'all buckle up, because SVG is coming in the studio right after this. Stacking Pennies is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. Winning feels good, but we lose sometimes too. How do you deal with things when the going gets tough? Just like a driver relies on a good pit crew and a good team, you need a support team to help you come out ahead. Talking to a therapist is a great way to navigate the twists and turns of your life when it feels like you're going in circles. Therapy can help you plan to achieve your goals and avoid hitting the wall when things get dicey. And therapy reminds you that even when life feels like a race, you're only competing with yourself. BetterHelp offers affordable online therapy and your schedule at your pace. Connect with a licensed therapist by text, phone, or video. Start the process in minutes and switch therapists anytime. Life's not a race. Visualize the track ahead with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/stackingpennies today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/stackingpennies.
Join Todd Gordon and myself each week for NASCAR Inside the Race. We'll break down exactly how the race was won.
Plus, we'll dive into the data and go in depth on race strategies, penalties, and rule changes.
Catch NASCAR Inside the Race presented by Consumer Cellular each Tuesday on NASCAR's YouTube channel.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Help me welcome back. I feel like he's the man of the hour. Just on an absolute tear right now. Welcome back to Nonsense Garage, Shane Van Gisbergen.
Thanks for having me.
Before we get too far, what do you think of these?
Is there anything more American
endeavor? Have you seen anything?
What on earth are you thinking?
So some fans sent me these Cotties. So one of my all-time favorite things, back in the day, they used to, you ever seen one of those where they had, like it's hanging on a wall, and you push the button and it sings at you? You never seen those?
we don't
Oh
have
my
that.
gosh, we gotta get you one.
So they used to make them like race car branded, like Bobby Labonte branded singing bass. So maybe I can get somebody to paint these up, like a 7 car.
You'd be on your own there.
You don't
I
want to
follow you down that.
You don't want a quad lock pair of Cotties?
Good.
Okay, man. In case, let me know, man. That's just. Do people wear these in New Zealand?
Maybe, but not
Not people you hang out with.
I've never seen any of them.
I'm just trying. People now, don't just think you can send me anything and I'll wear them. This is a one-off thing, and they're not very comfy. So we'll leave this. Nonetheless, the show's about you today, buddy. You bring Ronald in. He's chilling. Welcome
He's
back.
chilling.
No hush puppies today for you, buddy. But congratulations, first off.
Thank you.
Freaking back-to-back, putting on an absolute show, especially at Portland. Before we got on starting to talk about it, you said the cars weren't very good, but I'd have thought otherwise. Got shuffled a little bit. They probably gave up, 10 spots on strategy, but nonetheless, you pulled the belts tight and you got after it. So, first off, Portland in a snapshot. What'd you think? First career Xfinity win.
It was an awesome little track, I thought, and
Yeah.
quite like an intimate, small stands. The fans were really cool there, and between quali and the race, just a one-day show, simple. Between qualifying, we all went out, and all the drivers signing autographs, and it was packed. It was awesome atmosphere, and then the race was really cool, tight, narrow track, but a lot of action. It was pretty fun. I enjoyed that, and yeah, our cars weren't very good, all the RCR type cars. We really struggled with front locking. You could see us all locking fronts, missing corners and flat spotting. I had a massive flat spot after qualifying, so we tossing up whether to put a new set on, start from the back, but we ended up putting it on one of the rears, and luckily it made it through the first stint.
Really?
Yeah, but and then I wrecked the other front that we put on as well. So
So
but yeah, at the end, we were good.
for the listeners, what are some things you change? Not technically, but what are some things you change going from Portland to help that situation the following week?
Well, it was different. So it's a completely different style of track and new seals, right? So I had some ideas that I wanted to try after Coda, and we kind of did them. And then after Portland, I'm like, this is what I need from the car. So I don't understand this car's rear end. Like, it's so different to anything I've ever driven. But in any other race car, I could tell you what I needed. So I just described the changes best I could, and Bruce and Caller guys, they just tried some things. As soon as we drove out at Sonoma, it was pretty decent.
I'd say.
How
It was
much
good.
of like in your toolbox of what you do is getting into the corner so much harder, and then you have to back it up if you have
Yep.
front lockup.
Yeah, so for me, it's all like, I think I make my speed from braking and then setting my attitude in the corner on a road course. And this car, we just have no front weight turning in. Like, we're always locking fronts, so you wind bias to the rear to help that. But then you get wheel hop real bad in these things. So there's a fine line there. So it was just some things I was trying to do to weight the front, get some more bias back to the front, which would take temp out of the rear, better tire life. So things like that were what I was aiming for. It was pretty cool.
That's
That
different
feels the
IQ
best,
level.
though. But that's got to feel the best when you like make those adjustments and you can't do what you want to do, and then you still win the race.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, we didn't have the fastest car, but we had good restarts at the end. It took me a while to get better at it, but yeah, once I got better, I
think
was away.
that, and we've heard AJ talk about this too. I think that with you being right foot braking, I think that one, your talent and your experience shows up more in the Xfinity cars because there's more nuance to the blipping and to the clutch when that thing starts to chatter on you.
Yeah.
A lot of guys, I don't, if there's 36 cars in Xfinity, there might be 3 right foot breakers?
Yeah,
If
I
and
don't
you might
know
be
if any-
one.
I don't
Yeah,
know if
any.
anyone else was doing it. Yeah,
But Marcus was a right foot breaker,
he was. Yeah,
right? And is like Will Brown and Cam Waters, those guys right foot breakers?
yeah, they are. I think Cam was going back and forth when I spoke to him, but Will was mainly
It looked
right
like
foot.
it. It looked like it out there. He couldn't figure out which foot he wanted to use. But I think when you can maximize the braking zones compared to those guys because you're able to mitigate that rear chop. But I said it before you got here. It's great to watch and witness you just understanding the NASCAR way of life and the etiquette, because we talked about it after Coda. It's like I don't know. I just got smashed into. Didn't know what happened. So the tide has turned. Let's run the tape. Up to 2. Money start. How many to go was this?
It was 10, maybe
Yeah.
12 to go.
Yeah, pow. So for context, the 21 absolutely annihilated you at Coda. But you're not thinking about that in the moment, are you?
Oh no.
Okay.
No. Like I restarted, or I started the race on the left, right?
Yep.
And you have priority, and you choose when to go. But Ty Gibbs almost got me around the outside, so I was like, okay, next start, I'm going on the outside.
Yep.
You'll be able to hold, then you have priority for the next 4 right-handers.
Yep.
And then at the end of the race, I saw Austin, the restarts before, chose the left. Okay, and AJ almost got him. And then as soon as he chose the left on that last one, I was like,
It's a shot.
you beauty, we're in.
Yeah.
And then all I had to do was hang there enough, and I knew I'd be able to make a hole. So I knew I was going to lean on him a bit, but I never planned. I was never going into the race like, oh, you owe me from Coda, I'm wrecking you.
Yeah.
Like, I just knew I had to use him up to get the lead and drive away, but I wasn't going to put him in the grandstands type thing.
I think I speak for everybody that we absolutely love the drift lap. Was that just something that came to you? Because did I hear you say something like you couldn't do that in Australia?
Yeah, I used to do that all the time.
Oh, you did? Okay.
So, you want to be a good winner, so I feel a bit bad in some ways
Why?
being petty.
Why do you want to be a good one?
Well, anyway, so I was doing the skid at turn 1, because that's where all the fans are on the hill, turn 2. And then he goes past pulling the finger, so I'm like, this isn't
Telling
for
you
the
number 1.
yeah, I'm like, this is for you now, not the fans. So
Yes!
I just followed him the whole lap. But, I didn't, he knows what Coda was. So
Yeah.
I just followed him, and
Well,
then
you
when
didn't wait on him. It just naturally kind of happened where he was coming
and
by
then
at
during
the
the
same
lap, he's pulling the fingers, so eventually I passed him and was just waving at him.
I know it.
Thumbs up. Yeah.
time. What?
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Then hang on.
But I don't feel anything against him, but
It's a competition, man. You're going for it. For all intents and purposes, more could have been 3 for 3 in the NASCAR Xfinity Series on road courses. You got to be feeling good about that.
yep.
But where's the confidence level after these past 2 weeks, before the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, for me, it's like I know I can do that on the road courses. We had 6 of the toughest tracks in a row, pretty much for me on ovals. So it was nice to have a break, do well on the road courses. Now we're back to some pretty tough ovals the next few weeks. But it's more for the team. The team, Corlig is used to winning in Xfinity Series, and they haven't won anything this year. So to see how much it meant to the guys and how stoked they were the last 2 weeks, that's probably the biggest thing. It gave the team such a lift. It's been pretty tough for them, Carpa and Xfinity, and you miss that winning feeling, but seeing how relieved everyone was last week, but then pumped this week, like how the mood was in the pits before the race and everything. It was really cool to be a part of that.
Where did the rugby ball punt come from?
That's a Trackhouse thing. Daniel has the pinata.
Yeah.
Ross has the watermelon. They're like, you got to come up with something. So
you just give me a...
I didn't really know what to do, and someone suggested, kick a rugby ball. So
Dude,
Why was the kick so effortless at Portland and it flew so well, and then this weekend it was like a dead duck?
it was flat. The ball was flat.
oh,
So they
okay.
gave me it said it's flat, and they said just sign it and
That
throw it.
makes sense.
I still kick it, but I put more effort in, but it didn't make the stands.
Yeah, it was a dud for you. But also, I think the difference was that was American football. That was the difference.
No,
That one
they
was?
were holding American football, and you're
So the
like,
boys
no,
had
no,
the-
no.
Oh, okay.
They were holding one. And he was
Okay,
like, no.
they pulled out one.
That's what the pit group guys
Yes.
warm up with. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So then
love
they hand
that.
you, they gotta, man. There's so much compressed air on pit road. They gotta get that thing blown
Yeah.
up for you.
Sure.
Unacceptable.
Because judging by your kick at Portland, you could have launched the one at Sonoma over the grandstands. That was unbelievable. Have you ever
What do
played? You ever played American kickball?
I haven't. No.
You're on my team, buddy.
I'm not cheap.
I know you're not.
Why do we go?
I know you're not. We'll make it worth your while.
Be worth more than them shoes.
Well,
These
they
are
were
free.
free.
You're worth a little more than that. You could take that bucket of pennies home with you if you want to. We'll call it square. But yeah, I already claim you on my kickball team. But back to
I wanted
racing.
to ask you about Sonoma. So it was pretty clear that you were like really good in practice and qualifying, getting the pole. But then the race fires off, and it was like, oh, I got my hands full because Ty
was
Gibbs
fast,
was
yeah.
his car was fast, and he got to learn everything you did. It was like you two, and then the rest of the field was like 11 seconds behind. How did you feel about that when you guys fired off?
Yeah, so for him, I guess you're switching between cars. You're never going to optimize one. And I could see on SMT, all his sectors, he was really quick. He just would make mistakes. So you could tell he was almost as fast as us. And then, the race started, and to stay that close in the wake of the other car, everything's hot. I was saving a little bit, but not that much, and he was right there the whole time. So I knew he was going to be strong. It's a shame he had a bad pit stop and then the crash, because that would have been a pretty cool battle.
Yeah,
because every time I've raced against him, it's been really good. Like, he's a good, tough little racer, so it would have been cool to battle that out.
Dude, he's really good, and like the Gibbs Xfinity cars forever have been great.
Strong,
so I was like, man, we were watching it in the hotel lobby with a couple Penske guys, and we're like, this is gonna be a good race. Then you guys kind of got off strategy. I was like trying to figure out what was gonna happen, but that was the most interesting thing to me, because before the race, everybody just had you penciled in, and I was like, I'm excited to see what he learned from Portland, like losing track position, kind of knocking the nose off it a little bit, and like how you were going to adapt this weekend, because inevitably you're going to have guys there like Ty Gibbs that aren't racing for points, so they're going to either flip the stage or stay out, so you're going to lose track position with stage racing at some point in time. And it seemed like you
our mentality changed too, right? With last week's win, now all of a sudden playoff points matter to us and stage points, and so staying out there and burying ourselves up in 6th or 8th on a restart was worth it for an extra point, so I'm still trying to understand how the points system works, but we come away with a pretty big haul that weekend. So
get them when you can.
It was cool.
So is there starting to almost turn the corner now, going from seeing these places for the first time, gonna start going back? We got a couple left before that, but is there any ovals that you're looking forward to trying again?
Yeah, I'd like to do Darlington again. Yeah, I felt like I was getting better and better at the race there, and it's hard to make spots there without killing your tires and falling back. So I really enjoyed that track. But there's some cool, like it's Iowa, Nashville coming up. There's some pretty cool places that we're going to.
When's the next Cup race you're doing?
Chicago.
Yeah.
But for Iowa, for me, it's the first time we'll have a practice that's long, 50 minutes. I'll be able to try some stuff, a couple of sets of tires before qualifying. That's I can experiment now before the race.
Yeah. Iowa's an interesting joint.
Are you excited to go to Indy?
Ooh.
That looks like a tighten your belt type track.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough there, I think.
That's one thing that I'd wonder. Have you ever been there?
Only the road course last year.
Oh, okay. Yep. Yeah, I forgot. Okay. I forgot about that. Did you go to 500 at all?
I haven't done that, no. So.
Damn. Scotty. Yo, did you see Joseph wreck this weekend?
It was big.
Holy Did he wreck big?
Oh, my
Huge.
God.
Qualifying, Dropped the left rear and a fast right-hander straight off.
Oh, boy.
So you're talking about mentality for the playoffs. So, like, now that you got through these two, the West Coast deal's over, you got a couple more road courses coming up, but then you got to start looking at what's Xfinity playoff, 8 races?
I think so.
Yeah.
So you start looking at the ovals and that. Like, have you started looking at that and going through that, or is that something you'll start doing in the next couple
No,
weeks?
I'll do it later, but, there's Vegas, which we went to. I didn't have a good run there. I only got 20 laps all weekend and some tough tracks, and but I think there's a road course in the first round, which helps, but that's expected to do well there. I want to keep getting better at the ovals and keep progressing and be able to get good results without any issues, just get them on merit. That'll be cool.
That was I heard that. It was interesting to hear that you didn't do Sonoma in the Cup car. That wasn't even on the list to start the year.
Yeah.
Just because were they trying to get you some oval experience?
Yeah, I think
they had
just
to pick one or the other.
The cars, the way it's prepped, because we only got the one car that we're sort of sharing with Corlig. The races that I'm doing are spaced sort of a month apart each time. So, it's kind of didn't line up, and that's AJ's home race as well, I think. So, he really wants to win there, so they gave him a shot. So you go from winning on Saturday, having a couple ciders, to the spotter stand for Will Brown on Sunday. Had some electrical issues. They fought all weekend, but do you know that you have now opened the floodgates? Yeah, it's pretty cool. And you've made it look way easier than I think it is. I would hope that it is. It's not easy. And those guys realize that, Will, bit of a baptism of fire with the car problems, but he was genuinely quick. He had good pace. Yeah. Consistent pace. And even in the race when he had clear laps, it was pretty awesome to watch that. So we've seen a couple guys come over. Right? We saw Brody last year along with yourself, and we see Cam Waters, we've seen Will Brown. Who are some other guys that are maybe kicking the can or you would like to potentially see take a crack at it? Those are probably the three that would be most likely to move, or my old teammate Brock Feeney. He's a young guy too, and he's super talented. Everything he drives. So yeah, those sort of 4 guys.
Yeah.
But I think Brody is the most. He's got the highest chance of coming here. You know, he grew up here racing, and he's he doesn't take any shit.
He does not.
He'd be fast. Yeah.
He was fast. Sat in the pole aisle actually when I was crew chiefing for him.
Really? Yeah.
Back in the day.
How would Scotty do?
I think he'd be good as well. Yeah. And
McLaughlin.
Yeah, Scotty McLaughlin. I keep telling him to do it, and he's semi-keen. Like, the more I talk to him, he gets tempted, and I tell him how fun these Xfinity races are, and we're almost there. It'd be cool to see him do it.
Come over here and take our top 10s, drive our cars, drink our beer.
Guys, speaking of drinking beer, do you guys just love Saeed's? Because like every post
only gone
I saw.
What'd you think?
It was pretty quiet, but
was it quiet that night?
yeah, it's hard to get an Uber at 2 a.m.
But I saw like every post I saw from like, I don't know if it was Cam or they were like on the volleyball court in the back. I was like, either they took a bunch of pictures in one night, or
Yeah,
they've
it was
been
all
going there
just-
every day this week.
Well, certainly as far as I know, one night. But yeah,
That's the generic NASCAR bar, man.
That's it.
Yeah, glad
Speaking
you
of
I'd go
baptism
again.
by
Wasn't too
fire.
bad.
Yeah.
There you go.
Like fly in off a 14-hour flight. We're going to Saeed's, boys. Check this place out.
best way to beat jet lag.
Yes, it is. So last time you were in, we had Hush Puppies.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't seem like a fan.
I wasn't.
I know that you have great partners in Red Bull, so we're going to keep an unbranded type of beverage here. Higgy, grab it out of the cooler, and we're going to do a toast. It has a mass amount of Red 40, and it has about 100 grams of sugar in it, and it's got Dale Jr.'s late model on the side. So y'all can put the pieces of the puzzle together and figure out what we're going to toast to, and I want to see your opinion of it.
Okay.
It has hints of cherry and lime. So here we go.
Nice.
All right, to Portland, Sonoma, SVG, congratulations. Thanks for coming on. Cheers. You don't have to drink it all because you might go into heart palpitations. Ooh.
Yeah, I'll have more. That's not bad.
Unnamed soda beverage with Red 40 and a bunch of sugar. That's another American food item for you. I don't see you grabbing that at the gas station. What is your go-to Red Bull flavor?
OG, standard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always good.
I
I have one before every race. Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
I heard that you were.
I can't give a Red Bull shout. My favorite Celsius flavor is grape, guys. But we can continue.
Was it the 600 where you like took one last sip?
Oh, man.
the rain delay.
Right before, well, they said, oh, we're probably going to call you to the cars soon.
It looked like we were going back.
Yeah, so I just smashed one, and then
At midnight.
yeah, then I got home at 12:30. Just what do I do now?
Yeah, he said, because I did the same thing. Like I finished a coffee, and then they were like, "All right, we canceled." Like right when I finished the last sip,
I
like,
thought
oh,
about
boy.
it. I was like, man, I need a little pick me up here, and it was like, oh man, glad I didn't drink that.
Yeah,
But my favorite story as of late that you told me was, I think Higgy could probably find some Victory Lane posts, but you chipped your 2 teeth during the race at Portland.
I did. Yeah, on the curbs, I think.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's not too many photos of it, but yeah, I looked a
He
bit.
said he looked like Lloyd Christmas from Dumb and Dumber. Like what lap was
Hillbilly.
that?
I don't
Well,
know
he's
what lap.
fitting
I
into
just,
the NASCAR way of life.
I just finished the race and went, oh, that's not right. Oh, try to cover it up.
Really?
Try not to smile too much. Yeah.
Like 2 teeth too, right?
Two
You had
teeth,
to
yeah,
go.
two
You had to
front
go to the
left
dentist on Monday.
Yeah, I got them fixed up pretty quick.
They look good.
Thank you.
Can't even tell. That's how aggressive NASCAR racing is. You'll chip your teeth out there, man.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that like is just? I feel like you're doing a hell of a job over here in your Kiwi coming to America experience. How you liking it so far?
It's fun. I love it every week. And it's always, in NASCAR, there's always a storyline every week, whether it's a good or bad. Good race, bad race, there's always something to talk about in this sport. It's really cool. And then every week as well, learning something, a new challenge. Yeah, even this week, spotting, I was glad the race was in the afternoon because I was pretty stinging in the morning, but standing up on that stand.
Rightfully so.
standing up on the stand trying to, find a car all day, trying to guide them through the wrecks. Like those spotters are amazing at what they do. So it was cool to see that perspective of it.
Well, and to hear for the crew chief talk on Channel 2 to the spotters and figure out what's going on, like it's only going to help you. Like really what you're doing this year is to get you ready to go cup racing. Yeah. So it's only going to help you when you do that.
Good to see everything. Yeah, and I couldn't tell what channel was what. And the other spotter's name was Brett Griffin. So he speaks English, but it's a completely different type of English.
It ain't the type of English we speak.
So
it's South Carolina.
Some funny banter going on, but it was cool. And but yeah, I kept.
Could Will even understand Brett Griffin?
He had to speak slower, I think, or try and enunciate the words a bit better. But
yeah, because Will seemed like it's like a wiry guy a little bit, high energy.
Yeah,
talks
and
fast.
he's kind of country Australian too, so he's pretty laid back, redneck version of Australian.
Redneck Australians.
Yeah.
Is that like kind of like I heard like Tasmania, like where Eric Ambrose was from, was kind of like that.
Yeah, kind of more. Yeah,
I've heard that Australians are just redneck British people. That's what I mean. Hey, I just heard that. I didn't make that up. Right? Don't shoot the messenger.
He's not agreeing or disagreeing. He's got a lot of Australian fans.
Saeed's, Brett Griffin, and a car problem. You really did. Will Brown ain't coming back. He's had enough. He's like, nope. Actually,
I'm good.
I'll stay my ass in Australia.
Yeah. What about any like hobbies? I mean, I know you trail run with Ross and those guys a lot, but like, what else do you do? Just sim,
pretty much
and
it.
prep.
You don't have any. You have to be fully immersed in this life. Like you kind of have Monday off or half the Monday, debrief, do all your notes. Tuesday, talk about it with the team, and then Wednesday you already got to be looking to the next race.
Yeah.
Sim, video study. Like this is a lifestyle. I don't really have much time for much else at the moment.
It's more. You say it's more work than running the Supercar series.
Well, yeah, but it's not work. It's not
racing.
your work if you enjoy it.
Yeah.
Maybe my hobby's go-karting. I brought a go-kart. We go out a fair bit. Not enough recently, but that's kind of a break from it. But it's still
doing the same thing.
Yeah, it's improving your skills. Yeah.
Who's faster?
We're 10th for 10th.
We're 10th for 10th. Yeah. He's only got 50 more cc's on his go-kart than mine. How much you weigh?
It's
205. Well, I guess it'd be kilos for you.
Yeah,
I don't know what that is. 2
kilos.
stone.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's 210 pounds, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah, that's about right.
That's right.
So that's why I need the CCs.
That was also another big headline this week. You just said, you know what? I'm tired of fighting it. I'm just going to go and learn miles per hour.
Yeah, I've committed. Yeah.
You've conceded, rather.
Conceded, yeah.
Like
I struggle with the maps when it goes from 0.2 miles and then all of a sudden it's 800 feet. And I'm like, what?
Like,
and then,
damn it, Siri, I don't know what a foot is.
I'm learning. I'm getting there.
You're getting there. You're doing pretty good, buddy.
Just the fractions on the measurements. Nowhere on that yet.
What do you need fractions for? That's what you have crew chiefs for.
Put a 16th of an inch packer.
It's like 3 millimeters or something. I don't know. Well, SVG, I appreciate all the time you come give us here on Monday. But keep up the good work, buddy.
Thanks,
You're doing
guys.
good.
Cheers.
More Stag and Pennies coming up after this.
I'm Ryan Flores. Join Kim Kuhn and myself each and every week at Around the Track. We'll get you ready for the upcoming race weekends from short tracks to the Cup Series, whether you'll be attending in person or watching from home.
Coming your way each week is the best bets to win some easy money and driver suggestions to help pump up your fantasy lineups. Around the Track also tells you what to watch for in the NASCAR Regional Series and which young phenom drivers to keep your eye on.
Plus, our At Traction segment gives you all of the fan activities, concerts, and tailgating fun at the track. Be sure to check out Around the Track each and every Wednesday on NASCAR's YouTube channel.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Hope you guys enjoyed that SVG interview. It's always good to catch up with him, especially after my man's been just cutting it loose the last couple weeks. But just like every week, there was several woes to talk about.
I think the biggest woe was in the Xfinity race, and he touched on it. Just in here was with the 19 car, and there's a lot that goes into that. They had trouble on the left rear off pattern. Everybody just wants to be like, oh, hit too many lug nuts, but there's a lot to unpack. Pedro Martinez, veteran tire changer. That team is usually the 20 team. They've won a lot of races. They've won a lot of races off pit road in the last 2 years.
Those guys Xfinity only?
Xfinity only. They're a badass team. They got switched from the 20 to the 19 this week because Ty was in the car. And then you can see here what actually happened. So when you go from positive to negative camber on the left rear, it changes quite a bit. And from what I understand, what he did was carried a lug nut. So you hit the lug nuts 1, 2, 3, 4, they all start flying off. Well, when he came off the 4th nut, the nut landed in the socket, and he put it on the 5th stud.
Oh.
So that's why you see him reaching up there, because then you try to hit it, and when it has the negative camber like that, you go to try to hit it, and the gravity kind of, it's only a little bit, but it keeps it on the stud. So you have to actually reach up, physically pull that lug nut off, and then hit the one that's still on there. So the socket isn't deep enough to get both of them off. And then they had, just compounding problems there.
Then they get crashed.
But that's something, man, I forgot all about that. I think Pedro put it up on his Facebook page, showed what happened, and I was like, man, I forgot that carrying a lug nut was a thing, and I don't miss that from five nut at all. There's so much stuff that can go wrong, especially with 5 lug nut stops. We had a decent day on pit road. We've just had a couple small hiccups here and there. Just as a team, but we ended up with a good day, a good finish, and a good points day, which is what we desperately needed.
So when it's a day like when you know that you're going to be in the hunt, but coming down for green flag stops, that's just when you're getting it tight and getting it right.
Depends.
Yeah.
Because at Sonoma, in green flag stops, it just becomes time over distance.
Yep.
But you can lose way more than you can gain there. For the first stop we did, it was a full fuel, full pull, so we knew that was going to be over a 12-second stop. We can walk a 9-second stop right now, right? So what my mindset shifts to is not getting any penalties, taking care of your right front roll, right? You're going to make sure you get them tight, don't take any added risk, but you got to be able to snap out of that, because in the next one we come down and you got to do the fast stop you can, because that just converts into, a half second there is a half second on the track, and that could leapfrog you in front of 2 different cars.
Yep.
And then that, that sets you up. If that puts you in front of 2 cars that you're faster than, that's 2 laps, right? Because you're not going to really pass 2 or 3 cars a lap.
Right.
So the 6 car was in the hunt. They had the 2 fastest stops of the day, but the 5 car wins the dogs of the week, not just for the pit crew, but for Cliff and the whole team, because that's what they did. They executed at such a high level. And Kyle, that whole group, man, they're showing their strength, flexing their muscle, and that's why they came away with that win. Just because, yes, they were fast, but they also out-teamed everybody. They were strong, and kudos to them guys.
Pack of dogs.
Yep, take back the points lead as well.
Yeah,
for the regular season points championship. So this summer stretch, man, we got 3 races ahead of us that are big-time pit crew races in Iowa. Loudon and Nashville.
Little unknown going to Iowa. First time there with the NASCAR Cup Series. We've seen plenty of Xfinity races, plenty of truck races, plenty of ARCA West races, but going there with the Cup cars, what do we expect to see on pit road?
I'm not sure with the repave, with the patches, if it's anything like it was, Richmond, we pitted a lot. It's a little bit more of a worn-out surface. Last week in Gateway, we didn't pit much at all.
Yeah.
Right. I think that New Hampshire is going to
be a mix in between.
It's going to be track position. And that's what's nice, is no one knows.
Yeah.
That's what makes going to these new markets and new tracks so great, because we have an idea. Like this past weekend, we all kind of had an idea the way the race was going to go, and then it totally switched.
Yep.
So you're one caution away from flipping the whole race on its head. Loudon will be pretty straightforward. Loudon race, like it always is, like a 3-stopper. Those races, there's added pressure on races where you don't pit a lot, because you don't get a lot of chances, and Loudon is notoriously tough to pass at. So that's another one where, you're not going to have a Darlington 10-stop day, but you got to get it tight and get it right. Iowa can turn into that. So we'll find out. We'll go prepare at practice this week and get ready to go.
That's right. Usually qualifying, every week qualifying is important, but particularly places like Iowa, smaller boxes, and the better you qualify, the better pit box you get.
Yep.
Especially if it's number 1. Numero uno is always the best.
It's a big deal.
That's all we got for Pit Road Boats and Woes. We got some Penny for Your Thoughts questions this week. You guys threw over on Instagram, so let it rip. What do we got?
First one. How much time have you dedicated to road racing improvements?
A lot. Didn't really have the tools to be able to really work on it and hone on it, because probably like the first 5 years of my Cup career, I didn't know what was right, what was wrong. I knew that I wasn't very good at it because I hadn't done any growing up. And every single one of my road course races in my life has been in a Cup car. So now that I'm working with Josh Wise and Scott Speed, it's taken it to another level of just how you approach road courses. Talking to Shane, he's been a big help for me as well, just how you attack different corners and just how those guys articulate where to move your min speed around, how to do decel rates and things like that was stuff that I knew nothing about.
Brody last year at Chicago helped you a ton.
Yep. He gave me a lot of stuff to just that works on road coursing or road racing, like actual street courses. So it's just always little nuggets, and then you try things and some things work and some things don't work, and you just continue to work at it. But it's been hours on the simulator. It's been hours of SMT study. No different than anybody else is doing, but I think that's been the biggest. That was one of my biggest weaknesses several years ago, and I put a lot of work into it, got the tools to be able to cure that up. Now I feel like I'm a really solid road racer. I feel like I'm a top 15 guy now. So I got a lot of pride in that, because that was a lot of reprogramming my brain how to attack those. So it's good to see some fruit of that labor.
Yep. Next one with Iowa Speedway next. Any favorite memories from racing at Iowa in years past?
Tyler Turner, the GOAT fella. Just had a baby. Congratulations to those guys. Yeah, 2012 was a good one for us. We won, beat Kyle Larson, beat everybody else. But anytime you can say, no matter what it is or where it is, if you got, I don't care if it's at GoPro. I don't care if it's racing to the grocery line checkout counter. If I can beat Kyle Larson, I'm going to talk about it. So got the dub there. Got the trophy in the front office. So, yeah, I'm excited to go back to Iowa. And it's always nice to go back to a racetrack where you know what the victory lane's at.
Yeah. Talk often about your least favorite pit roads. What are some of your favorites? What are the hardest ones to drive down?
Martinsville. Indy. Not excited to go to Indy. I think I did see that they lowered pit road speed maybe.
Yeah.
There's a couple that are like, Gateway was nice. They opened it up 3-4 feet, and I felt like a different pit road. But I don't go to the racetracks like, man, I'm looking forward to it. I love that pit road.
Any pit road can be challenging with the pit stall selection, right? Like Martinsville, if you're pitted in like pit stall 28, it's one of my favorites to ever be at, right? You're letting it rip, it's flat, you're on the straightaway. But if you're pitted in the corner, right, you're doing half your work on the banking, so it becomes the least favorite pit road.
Yeah.
Same thing with like Bristol, right? Bristol, if you have a good pit stall, is awesome. If you have a bad pit stall, it's not. But like places that we've always excelled at are like Kansas, we do really well at, and then Darlington gives you a lot of room to work. Pit stalls are really big. I don't know, like for some reason Kansas is a place we always do really well, so I'll go with that being my favorite pit road.
Kansas.
Yep. Last one. Whose role is it to calculate fuel mileage? Crew chief, car engineer, etc.
Everybody, but majority of teams have some sort of algorithm, working AI technology that combines SMT and the throttle percentage and all the variables, right? There's air density and all these things that account into trying to be as precise as you have to be on pit road the least amount of time. So they have taken, the engineers and the crew chiefs input certain things that they want into the simulation. And it's a working simulation of, okay, this strategy is better right now. This strategy is better. It's going to get you 1.2 points percentage more than what this strategy is going to do. Two tires, 4 tires, no tires. And I believe every OEM has some sort of proprietary simulation that works that. And it will make your freaking head spin as much data as those guys are looking at there in the race.
Yeah, I'd say it's your team engineer working with your OEM, like whether it be Ford or Chevy. And the crew chief always kind of has something to do with it, but it's mainly your engineers.
Yeah.
They call it a VD, vehicle dynamic engineer, and then they have your race engineers, a bunch of different engineers. But yeah, there's a lot of people that have their hands on that.
There's not any more like deals like that picture behind Ryan. Let's put a little more
Well, the hard part now, and not to get too far down the rabbit hole, is you don't fill the cars up much anymore. So like this past, or if you go back to Gateway, like we never filled our car up. We were just So you never got a gauge of how much you were actually using. You just had to lean on your system.
Right.
So we never knew, like, oh, it's full. We know we used 14 gallons that run, so then we reset, and okay, that's how much that's what our fuel mileage is for the day. You don't get that gauge.
Yeah.
You know that you dumped, 12 gallons in it,
But you don't know how much.
but you don't know how much has been used because the cell's bigger than it's ever been.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing too is everybody tries to run, as light as they can on fuel because you don't want to be carrying all that extra weight around because the cars are all so close that weight's a big deal.
It's a big deal. Just like our penny stackers of the week, those guys are a big deal too. There was more out at Sonoma than I anticipated. We had a Celsius appearance at a grocery store on Friday night, and there was more people there than I anticipated because it was in Napa. It was like 45 minutes away from the racetrack, and there was a line, 30 people, a lot of merch, particularly, and these guys stood head and shoulders above the group. Scott and Julie, they are the penny stackers of the week. I don't remember where they're from. They had the merch, listened to the show. They hung out with us, grabbed some Celsius. But a lot of people out there say listen to the show. So it makes you feel warm and fuzzy.
Hey, I got my penny stacker of the week is Mindy Grubb. Gavin Grubb?
Yeah.
They have been to almost every racetrack now. They drove from Kansas to Sonoma this weekend. She drove Arkansas. That's why I said that. They always
27 hours.
Arkansas is better than your Kansas.
I talked to the guy, but I think it was 27 hours.
2,000 plus miles. So Mindy drove him there. They've brought Gavin to every racetrack now. Next week Iowa will mark every racetrack. So it's been so great getting to know them. They are awesome parents, and I strive to be like them. So shout out to
definitely
to
honorable mention for sure. And everybody else who listens. You guys are the penny stackers of the week, but even if you didn't get named, maybe next week. Try again. What else we got? Anything grind your gears this week?
Nope, nothing. I'm ready to go to Iowa.
Do these Cotties grind your gears?
No, they're just ridiculous. They don't make me mad.
They don't?
I'm more sad for you that you're wearing them.
I don't believe that they're going to make another appearance, but I think one and done.
You will wear them.
Fish fry in the pan.
I know that there will be some point in time when you wear them, and I will take a picture and put it on.
Yeah, it'll probably be tomorrow by the pool.
Yep, most likely.
That's probably where they'll come out again. I'm not throwing them out. These things are great. I don't have anything that grinds my gears. I think Sonoma is one of the nicest tracks on the schedule.
One of the best. One of the best tracks.
Shout out Joe Gregory, Marcus Smith, everybody from the SMI team. That Turn 11 club.
Repave was great.
Went in there for a minute. That place is unbelievable.
Sick.
Oh, my God.
It's so sick down there.
I could live in there.
Look,
couldn't afford it.
They caught a lot of heat about that repave and everything that was going on. And listen, phenomenal job by those guys. Great atmosphere all weekend. A lot of people there. And enjoy going out to Sonoma.
I met Murray from.
I saw that.
From Practical
Was
Jokers.
he cool?
He was cool. There's a lot of people. So we didn't get a chance to chop it up too much, but that's pretty cool to meet him. What else we got?
That's it.
That's it.
Catch you next week.
Catch you next week. We'll catch you spare change on Thursday, but also we're going to catch you live time at Iowa. Doing a live show with, I can guarantee you this, it's going to be, Ryan's not going to make it on Saturday. So I have to find and make some other calls, and we're going to have a NASCAR Hall of Famer join the show. I don't know which one it is yet, but you're going to want to know. And you're going to want to tune in, whether you listen to it on podcast or you watch it on YouTube, or if you're there, come hang out with us. It's going to be a blast. It's going to be a good time. Had a lot of fun at Talladega. So we're firing up the live show again at Iowa this week. Also, continue. Please like, download, share, rate, review, do all the things. Watch us on YouTube. Listen to us on SiriusXM Channel 90, wherever you want to do. We appreciate you guys tuning in and stacking pennies with us each and every week at _stacking pennies on Instagram. Win some Arctic stuff. Keep stacking pennies. Keep doing it. You can overcome. Goodbye.